What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pinpointe Unfiltered. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Josh. How you guys doing today?
All good. We have a guest today, special for me, I guess. Paige Tremblay. She is the founder and CEO of what is it? In-house core?
In-house core. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. But Paige and I met on LinkedIn, as I apparently meet people these days.
Me too.
And have become friends. And she has definitely been very supportive of me in the past, and it's been very, very helpful. So I'm very glad to have her on the show today.
I'm happy to be here.
And as like I usually do to Josh, it is a guest that he has zero context of. But he figures this out really well. So, Paige, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about you and your company?
I'm Paige. I have been in the U.S. immigration world for coming up on 16 years.
Dang.
Started out as a paralegal and then moved into in-house. And now I am founding In-House Core, which is a consulting practice, but mostly developing tech for in-house immigration teams, and also a personal user platform as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Sweet.
So, for those that are not familiar, what is something that like you normally would have to do like day to day in your career?
Like
Is there a day to
in-house
day?
or
Yeah, in-house, sure.
So in-house, I always said that I gave a lot of pep talks, which I'm very good at. So in-house, it was a lot of tracking data, working with outside counsel, working with HR, working with recruiting, working with tax team, payroll, leaders who want this hire today, similar to what you guys deal with in your world. Like you want this hire today, you want them here. It takes time.
Yeah, it does.
A lot of peopling, and also a lot of tracking data and dealing with fragmented systems. And that's one of the reasons I started In-House Core.
All right, cool. So, what is like one of like the harder things that you had to like deal with, either in-house or as a purely paralegal, or you now as a founder? Like, and that can be dealing individually with someone that's trying to get like a visa, or more generally. I'm trying to leave politics out of it.
That's
but
hard in immigration.
Yeah, if politics have obviously they play a part, does that factor into it, making it more difficult?
Yes. So one of the things I think that a lot of people forget about immigration, it's a really hot button issue. People are always going on about immigrants. They forget that they're real people and they're just like us, and they are just trying to make a better life for themselves and their family and future generations. In my role as the daughter of an immigrant, a lot of the most difficult part, a lot of it was really the emotional labor. When you're working on those cases and you're hearing from people, the stories, what they're going through, what they've been through, how frustrated they are, it's really hard not to take that on. So that was one of the more difficult things. But also within, specifically in-house immigration, it was dealing with a lot of fragmented systems. It happens in law firms too, but it's more so in in-house because you're dealing with so many different teams, so many different silos, funnels, where you're dealing with, outside counsel systems, your HR system, 57 spreadsheets, Slack teams, Outlook, you name it. Like you have something in one of those places at any given moment. And so if something comes up, you have to figure it out. And it's really hard when everything's all over the place.
Distributed, yeah.
So that was really frustrating. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. That could be very frustrating. And so I'm assuming that's part of why you're building in-house core, right? So
that is the part. Well, that and the emotional side. So in-house core is built for in-house teams, but it also has an employee interface.
Okay.
So it will give the employee, the foreign national that is very stressed out, a little more insight and visibility into what's going on, which could make things better, might stress them out even more if they don't understand.
Right.
But that's why everyone should have a human on the other end, in my opinion. But the idea is that it would make things easier for teams and for the people going through the process of being a foreign national
Mm-hmm.
in a country that isn't their own.
Yeah. We deal with that a lot, right? People that are coming here and no idea what to expect, and it's very frustrating and scary. And okay, question. Why? So I'm assuming it takes there's a certain threshold or a certain like amount of hires that a company is making in order to decide to start bringing immigration in-house. Is that like, do you find that to be like a specific threshold, or it's just like the right strategy? Like, what do you think about that? Like, when does a company go from outside counsel to like building a team internally?
So I think that's really a strategy and a finance question.
Okay.
For me, as someone who is just like laser focused on immigration, for me, that's like as soon as you have 5 foreign nationals, you should start looking into having a point person for them. Whether that's, someone you pull from your HR and say, hey, you need to train up on this. We need to get you whatever you need to get so that you can be a resource for these people specifically. Or hiring someone with 3 to 5 years of experience in U.S. immigration. But that's my, standpoint. That's
Mhm.
uncommon, I think. I think
Mhm.
generally it's usually like mid-sized businesses, once they have more than probably 100 hires, they would start considering bringing someone in-house, maybe 50. It would really depend on what their goal is. Like, are we going to be, are we a customer service company that is not going to need to hire foreign nationals, or are we a tech company that is absolutely going to be hiring potentially hundreds of foreign nationals, right? Like, if you think that your strategic goal is to be a tech company, then you probably need to have someone that's well versed in immigration. But if you're a customer service person, that's not something that generally, unless you're looking for very specific skills, that's not something you're really going to recruit outside of the US for.
Gotcha.
So I'm not recruiting so many people outside of the US, you're saying? Got it.
Yeah.
I'll keep the pool to the New Yorkers.
Yeah. Let's keep them that way.
Keep it local, yeah.
I mean, although there's a lot of immigrants in New York, so I don't
Yeah.
know how that's.
Yeah, so it's about the same anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing
It is
here?
a melting pot.
Yeah. What you do is really interesting. Obviously, it's really important, but like, I feel like the people that are not familiar with it are probably like, why do you need somebody full time for that? Like, that is not like, I mean, like you said, like, unless you have like 50, 100 people, but I feel like, I think there's a misconception, and you can definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but like, they get the visa, okay, then they're done, right? And then there's no need for that role anymore, right? Like, the visa's done. What else is there to be done?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that's obviously very wrong.
Yes.
Right?
So let's say you're hiring your 5th foreign national.
Okay.
You go to the law firm, as you've done 4 times prior, and you say, I have this software engineer from India. They're already in the US. We just need to do a change of employer. I want to hire them. Your lawyer looks at the case and says, good, we're good to go. But there are strange things in his employment history or education history that are maybe different from the other software engineers you have on staff. Your lawyer's not going to look at that, right? But these are things that can come up when you are dealing with USCIS, when you are dealing with the Department of Labor. So if someone has a different education background, or like, let's say you have Rick, who's been a software engineer for 45 years, right? He's been really knowledgeable, but high school diploma. right? He does not have a degree in computer engineering. Then you have other people coming in at lower levels who maybe have associate's degrees or different variations, right? But then you're telling the government, we require a bachelor's degree for this position. And then the government says, I don't really think you do. They're going to audit all of your hires in that position and you're screwed.
Okay.
Right? So having someone on staff that will look at your hiring practices. Now you can hire an attorney to do that, but like having an attorney to stay on top of that for you, that's $500 an hour every time you ask them to look at it.
Yeah, that's pricey.
Right? And if you're growing, you're a big company, it might be smarter to look at bringing someone in-house.
Yeah, that makes sense.
An attorney or someone with a lot of experience that can look at how you're building that program. So it's an actual program that in the event that the government says, hey, we think something's going on here, you can say, hey, we're good. We're squeaky clean, right? And I think people are becoming more aware of that, like in this industry too. Like they're just finally like, oh yeah, you need a program. But I think on the Department of Labor side, that's a big issue as well. Then you're looking at I-9s, which are the forms. I don't know if you guys are super familiar with I-9s, but when you start a new role, you have to fill out that form and you bring your passport in or you bring your driver's license and birth certificate in or whatever combination of documents. With US citizens, it's super simple, right? You fill it out, you're done. With foreign nationals, those documents have to be re-verified pretty regularly, and it depends on the cadence of when documents expire and whatnot. And if those things are not done timely, it can be millions in fines. If you get out. Millions.
For one form.
For one form.
Yeah, so any company should hire you then.
Yeah, it's like,
going to cost you a million.
It's like
listen,
$288 up to $2,800 and some change per form if you make certain errors. I'm not going to go into that. It's very boring. But yeah, so these errors add up. And let's say you have a company of 500 people and the most common error rate among paper I-9s is 75% error rate. Okay? 75% error rate. This is a really simple form.
So no one gets it right.
I filled out an I-9
Awesome.
before.
Yeah.
I thought it was,
there's a 75% error rate in timing. You know, that's things like timing, people putting a date wrong, people forgetting to sign their name where they're supposed to. Like, it can be like the dumbest thing, right? It can be someone like putting a 5 instead of a 6, accidentally putting 2025 instead of 2026, like airhead stuff, you know? But those things can cost a lot of money. And if you have 500 employees and you have a 75% error rate, that's over $1 million in fines potentially.
Well, fuck that.
Yeah.
That's out of control.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
So it really financially like makes sense to either hire someone like me to consult and help you build that practice.
Sure.
Or to hire someone in-house if you're looking long-term, you know.
I go for hire someone like you. That's it. We'll stop right. Like Mags cut it right there. Hire someone like me, period. There we go.
Yeah. Hire me, please.
There you go.
Yeah. That's like, that is crazy. I feel like, and again, like me being an American citizen, like I've filled out I-9s before and I've never thought twice about them. Right? Like set it, forget it kind of thing. Right? I didn't realize that, for expats, like they need to be renewing them and updating them. That imperative. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's a really big deal. And there are circumstances in which, you know, with on the H-1B side, which is the most common employment-based visa or status, there are situations in, you know, the USCIS thing and the Department of Labor in which your programs can be fully shut down. So it can be really, really detrimental.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what other consequences aside from fines are there?
Fines are big, but you can also be barred from hiring specific types of workers, sponsoring people.
That's crazy.
Damn, that
That's great.
sucks.
And how does that? So, okay, let's say a company gets fined for improper I-9s. What happened to the employees that are on those visas and stuff?
I'm not 100% sure. I think
Lost in
it's
the
generally just
cracks.
fines on the employer side,
Mm-hmm.
because usually those things are fixable errors. If those people are not actually authorized, that's a whole other can. So
Mm.
for hiring unauthorized workers knowingly, the employer, it's like the fines are way bigger. And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like up in the $6,000 per person,
Oh,
or per form. And then those people, I assume, would be subject to whatever immigration
yeah.
proceedings.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, have you in your career have you had any employee face deportation or anything like that?
I've had employees that have been stopped upon reentry. I've had employees whose spouses have had issues. I've never had anyone be actually deported,
Okay. Okay.
luckily. There
Has that increased the problems? Has it increased in the past couple years, or has it kind of just been
So for the program I was working with, it has increased across the board. So I'm just outside of Detroit, and we are like right across the water from Canada. So ICE is always here, right? Like it's not weird to see an ICE truck in my neighborhood. Um, I live right on Lake St. Clair, and there are signs now that weren't there before that say like alert USCIS and like give all this information. It's wild. And I just noticed them a couple weeks ago. They weren't there before. There has been an uptick in security because there has been a massive influx of funding and hiring those particular types of positions as opposed to immigration judges
Mhm.
that are needed. And I won't go into it because that's a political rant. But the programs I was dealing with, so people on H-1Bs, like that was mostly what I was dealing with. Some EADs, some Ls, TNs, other statuses, but mostly H-1Bs. For the most part, the H-1B is not what they're looking for. They're trying to come after certain aspects of it now, um, because they want to vilify the companies hiring H-1Bs, and they want to vilify the people in H-1B status because the economy is so bad.
Mm.
Another political rant. Um, but the H-1B hasn't been broadly impacted by these administrations. But what has increased is the level of fear that I have faced in
Mm.
my pep talks. You know, and even after I left my prior employer to build this whole thing, I'm still getting messages from people that I became close with while I was working with them saying, we're so afraid, everything's tied to our job. Like, what if we get fired? And, there are things that the US government is doing to make people feel like if they lose their job, they have to leave the country immediately when that's not necessarily true. You have 60 days if you lose your job when you're in H-1B, you have a grace period, but that is discretionary. So
Mm.
there are situations in which the government is sending these people, once they find out they've been laid off, they're sending these people notices to appear or things like that, saying that they can deport them. But that's not really true or fair or right. So the level of fear has increased. I've seen several grown Indian men cry, um, which is not normal in my world. I've seen a lot of Indian women cry, which is also not normal. They're generally relatively stoic. Um, I have talked to people that are afraid of what's going to happen to their child that they are pregnant with or their child that their spouse is pregnant with. What if they aren't considered citizens? They're not considered citizens in my country either. Like, what happens to them? We're just in limbo here. I know a lot of people that have decided to leave the US. for other countries like Australia, the UK, other countries, just because they're afraid of the implications of, the layoffs and ICE and everything that's going on.
Yeah. That's gotta be terrifying.
Yeah. It's infuriating.
I mean, that too.
Yeah.
So you work mostly with H-1Bs. So
Yeah, previously. I mean, I've worked on the myriad of U.S. immigration cases, but most recently, my prior employer did mostly H-1Bs.
and did you find that, like, you mentioned, like, you seen a bunch of Indian folks cry? Do you f- is it do you find that H-1Bs typically go to Indians, or is it that um just like the talent you're looking for happens to be there?
So tech talent, not across the board, like this is a broad generalization, tends to come from India or China, right?
Okay.
And there's just a bigger concentration of Indian nationals in specific fields of tech. China is starting to turn toward the data side of things, whereas India is still very focused on development. So if we're hiring engineers, we're hiring Indian nationals. If we're hiring data people, it tends to be more Chinese nationals. But it really just depends on the field. And it also can depend on where you are in your region. So, someone in California or Texas, they may have more people from South America coming up. But here, there are a lot more Indian nationals.
Interesting. Okay. What would be a piece of advice to a company that is just like starting to think about hiring from abroad?
Call me.
There you go.
Got it.
Check out your hiring practices.
What if they don't
If you
have, like, think of a startup, right? Like, they don't really
Okay.
have
Then you
they
need
might not have an
to
HR person even.
you need to talk to someone that has a great deal of experience in immigration. If
Yeah,
you're looking,
especially with all that you're saying, and
yeah,
all these
there's a
problems that
lot going
come about.
on. Yeah,
And
there's a
would an
lot going on right now.
attorney not be enough to talk to?
An attorney, if you're like, let's say you're a startup and you're hiring your first foreign national, an attorney would be fine.
Okay.
That I don't want to say the issue with attorneys. Attorneys, I love attorneys. They're great. You need attorneys. I do not give legal advice, nor would I ever. It is dangerous.
Sure.
So attorneys are wonderful, but they are not necessarily trained to build out programs or operations or structure.
Okay.
And when you hire a law firm, unless you say specifically, I want you to help me build out a program to avoid any future implications if we hire 5 other people in this role. They're only going to look at what's in front of them, and that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some attorneys, the diamonds in the rough that would say, okay, well, here's what's happening just right off the bat. But generally, attorneys are like, okay, here's the case. Here are the documents. Here is this person's employment history. This is your first one. So we're cool. And that's what you pay for, right? To get that person here. And I think, law firms are becoming a little bit more full service on that side as well. Like they're starting to really encourage, proper immigration programs, that you have a proper internal immigration policy, those kind of things. But a lot of law firms, especially, old school law firms, aren't looking at that, and they aren't necessarily trained in a practical way to do that.
Got it.
But a lot of law firms now are hiring people like me to do that. So it's an interesting shift in the tech world and in just, I think, the legal field because of the tech stuff. But I would say talk to someone about building out an immigration policy, even if you say, oh, well, this is the only one we're going to hire. Talk to someone about having a policy. just in case. It never hurts to have something to go back to refer to, say, these are the things we laid out. This is our policy. This is when we will sponsor for a green card. These are the roles we'll sponsor for green cards. These are the, timelines, whatnot.
Mhm.
This is what we will do as a company for our foreign nationals. And you can always go back and change that as things change. But I think it's good to have that laid out from that first hire.
Yeah.
We'll figure out where you're gonna live and stuff.
And I will refer you to excellent attorneys.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
It's
So,
Yeah.
taking a step back, how did you get in? You said you started as a paralegal. So how did you even get into this to begin with?
Interestingly, after college, I lived in Thailand for a year and a half-ish. I
love
studied in
Thailand.
Thailand in college and then moved back after college.
Nice.
And
Josh loves Thailand.
Yep.
that's great.
Yeah. Spent like 2 months out there. It was a great time.
So I lived in Chiang Mai. So while I lived there, I volunteered for an organization that had an orphanage and did like career training, but also did like human trafficking awareness in the tribal communities in Thailand. And so we would go like into the mountains and into different areas in Thailand and speak to the tribes. I didn't speak to the tribes because my Thai was terrible, much less my tribal languages. I just went just along for the ride and the food. But they would educate these, tribal people on what human trafficking looks like. They would also give them, contraceptives, STD education, things like that. But a lot of it was centered around, human trafficking of children, also prostitution, things like
Oh,
that.
jeez.
Because a lot
This is taking
of
a deep, dark turn.
a lot of tribal communities, they want their kids to have better lives. And so they want their kids to be educated. And so these big city people come in and say, we'll give your kid a job, and they can get educated while they're working, and they'll send money back to you. And this has been going on forever. I'm hopeful that it's better now. It's been like 20 years now. But so with that, I got very interested in human trafficking, and a lot of the kids in the orphanage came from situations of their mothers being trafficked, and then ending up dead.
Jesus,
So
it just keeps
yeah,
getting darker.
I know.
Paige,
It's
come on,
very
lighten it up a bit.
so sad. But anyway, that's how I got interested in human trafficking. And then I was looking into, potentially going to law school, to do human trafficking, not on the like criminal side, but more on the helping people that are trafficked into the US. But then it was 2010 and the economy was horrible, and I didn't want to get into 150 grand more of student debt. So I just got my paralegal certification. And then was very lucky to get a role, but it was in corporate immigration. So that's kind of the
Gotcha.
twisty turny, sad path.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take this on a lighter note. Aside from,
I mean, you asked.
yeah. Well, I didn't know it was gonna be that dark. Shit, people dying and shit.
I mean, you
seriously,
can edit it out.
That might have been a lot
Did
easier.
you do anything fun while you were in Thailand?
Well, I was 21.
All right.
Good time.
Yes.
What is that movie? Broke Down Palace or something like that?
Yeah.
Were you doing that shit?
No. I didn't get arrested. I
Good.
didn't. Yeah. No. I taught kindergarten and first grade English,
Okay.
which was fun.
You should have done that.
I went all over Thailand, saw lots of things.
What was the best thing?
And
Our elephants.
beautiful mountains and beautiful beaches, and yeah,
Everybody go visit Thailand.
bungee jumping and did all the
Bungee jumping.
crazy stuff.
All
Yeah,
right.
bungee jumping actually I will never
That's
do
wild.
again.
Really?
I went with one of my friends and I like almost chickened out, and she had already gone and they had gotten her down and she was like yelling at me, jump you pussy, like and I
right.
finally jumped and they couldn't get me down. So I was just swinging on this cord, like a 50-foot jump. And they were like, just like swinging a bamboo stick at me, and I was trying to grab it. And so like the next day I had like all the capillaries under my eyes were busted. And like I was wrecked. Yeah, it was so bad.
That is insane.
But yeah, I
All
had
right.
a motorcycle. I drove around and
Nice.
yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Except for dangling and
So you're
I mean, it's a good
death.
story.
It is a good story.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, I can just imagine them like swatting you with a
That's
a
essentially
stick.
what was happening. It was like a piñata.
Yeah. That's insane. Josh, did you do bungee jumping when you were in Thailand?
No, I've never been bungee jumping. I've been
Would you?
skydiving, but not in Thailand.
Skydiving is way better. Bungee jumping is awful.
Yeah, I'm not super tall, but I'm tall enough, and the fear that they'll put the wrong rope and I'll have too much rope and end up smashing my face like on rocks or something. Yeah, I'm good. So yeah, I don't really want to do the bungee
feel like
jumping thing, but Thailand was, it was probably one of my favorite places that I visited. It was I want to say it's pretty much, it was life changing. Yeah, there was like some experiences that made me appreciate home, experiences that made me what's the word? Re-enthused with like humanity. I was like, oh, people are actually like nice, and coming from New York, we are nice, but we're aggressive, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a little more in your face. People are just kind for no reason. It was like, oh, that's so great. So yeah, Thailand was a good time. I got tattooed in Thailand. That was fun. Yeah, it was a good time. Actually, I was thinking about Thailand the other day. It's like coming up on like the 10-year anniversary.
Damn.
Like, wow.
Yeah, I haven't been back since I moved home. So I'm sure
it goes by quickly.
Changed a lot.
I might have to take a trip.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's really
Yeah, I've never been, but I definitely want to go. It looks awesome.
It's worth a trip.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth
the long flight.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it would take me a week to recover from the flight now.
Yeah. I'm only flying if I get first class.
Yeah.
Like that far. I'm only flying that far if I am only
like
if I
10
get
grand.
Yeah, I'm not spending like with the 10 grand that I spent on that flight, the things that I'll be able to do in Thailand.
I know,
like,
exactly.
yeah,
Bro, you can fly
I'll take a sleeping pill. I'll be passed out.
What? Fly standby. What is wrong with you? Take advantage of the benefits. I'm only going if I like flying standby, and then I'll get upgraded.
I don't know if Delta goes all the way out there.
Delta goes everywhere, bro.
Delta does. I don't know.
Delta.
I don't remember what I took.
In a while.
Delta definitely goes. I mean, the flights from back then are different than they are now, right? So like, but they change their flights all the time. I'm sure they fly out there, or at least they fly
probably
close.
Have a partner that does if they don't.
Well, if we're flying standby, you have to fly. We'd have to fly on their actual airline, but like whatever. Let's say it goes to Singapore, so we take the long ass flight standby Singapore, then just buy like a cheap flight from Singapore to like Thailand or some shit. Like that's how I'm thinking. It makes it much more cost effective.
Yeah, it's the way to do it right there.
Yeah,
I can't remember what I paid for that flight.
Yeah,
but This was a good message. Shout out to Thailand.
Yeah, exactly.
we
Like
love and
Thailand, if you
support.
would like to sponsor our podcast, please visit
If you'd like to
Thailand.
sponsor
Entire
me so I can
nation
go
of
back.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care about the podcast. Sponsor me so I can go back and have a good
Yeah,
time. Thank you so much.
Send us back. Yeah, I love it. I miss it.
Good time. The food was
would
amazing.
would you take your kids there
I
to
want
visit?
to.
Yeah.
I want to wait till they're a little bigger because it's difficult to get around. And like the traffic is so crazy, like dragging them. I mean, they're probably getting there. They're 7 and 9.
Okay.
My son will be 8 next month. So, yeah. They're fine on flights. They're great. No, they're great travelers. They're great travelers. We went to Ireland in April and they did amazing. It would really just be like keeping them from running into ongoing traffic. It was like my biggest concern. Like it's so chaotic in the cities. But I would love to take them. I think I'd like to take them around like Loy Krathong, which I don't know. Josh, were you there during Loy Krathong by chance?
No.
So Loy Krathong is like the Lantern Festival.
So when I went, the king, president, whatever, like it's like I think he's the king.
The king.
He died, and I didn't realize that how like revered this like like the people like
so
loved him.
He was so loved.
So they kind of shut everything, like all the heavy partying down a bit. It was Thailand on a 3.
Yeah. I'm sure that was an interesting experience because he was so loved.
Yeah. I was like, wow, they like and it's funny because not to get political, but back home was we were approaching the first go around of our current president. So yeah, it was very funny how, you know, one side of the world is like, I can't stand this. And the other side is like, oh my God, we love our like leaders so much.
Yeah. Well, that one, I don't know what their current viewpoint is, but they loved him. He was a good king.
Shout out to all the good kings out there. We love you.
Shout out.
Shout out. And then sure. Since I know nothing about the Thai monarchy, Josh, did you know, and this is going to be a no because you didn't know Paige, but she can sing real well.
Huh?
Wow. So maybe on the next go around, your next trip to Pinpointe Unfiltered, we'll have some music for you to like serenade us with.
No.
Your
no,
lovely
sir.
voice.
I did not bring my singing voice today.
And honestly, we couldn't afford the budget of the music that would go to it anyway. So
no, I haven't performed since 2020.
Dang. Have you been practicing it all? You've been like jamming it all by yourself?
Well, I sing for the kids, yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't like sung in public. They are not here. I told my partner to not bring them home until after 5 for you guys. They're at camp anyway, and she probably wouldn't be able to get to them until 5 anyway. So,
well, like yesterday, we were recording another podcast, and my wife had gone to pick up the kids. So I was home, and so I had the dog here in the room with me. And then at some point they came home, so then he just started like barking crazily, and it shocked everybody. But yeah, like they're fine. Like you can't really hear much like outside of the door, even if they're like running around or anything. So, and they know like the door's closed, so don't come in.
I have the dog crated. Like this is quiet time.
Yours are bonkers, is that what you said?
Shout out to all the kids as well. Uncle Josh loves you.
You have the dog crated?
Yeah, I have her crated. She's not barking at me right now, although she'll probably start barking now that I just said that. But
yeah, well, my wife is in the living room with the dog, so he doesn't really care that I'm here if she's here.
So, Rach, you have any more questions?
No, I think we're good. Paige, do you have any questions for us?
Oh, I have so many questions. How
Oh,
much time you?
here we go.
Yeah, we got like another 10, 15 minutes.
Take as long as you'd like.
I'd love to know how things are going. I did read your newsletter. I don't know if you got my reply or not.
I did.
Um,
I did.
Always like rooting for you guys. Excited
Thank
to
you.
see all the accelerators and all that stuff. So, anything new this week?
No.
No, this
No.
week, no.
What was this week?
This week was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything new this week. I did like I started sending that like quarterly, I don't know if you want to call it a newsletter, but last quarter. So this is my second time. And I get very anxious when I send it because I'm sending it to so many people, like whether like that I know, that I like am like acquaintances, stuff
Mhm.
like that. And being like somewhat vulnerable, I get like it's not just about like, yes, it's about posting like the good things, but also like, you know, not the like not so good things, and just like and asking for help in that type of message. So the platform that I use to send it out, like it's still like relatively new platform. So once I scheduled it, I couldn't stop it. And I was like having like major anxiety and doubts
Yeah.
until like so like an hour or two before it was supposed to go out, I like messaged the company. I'm like, dude, I can't edit this. And they're like, yeah, no, do you want us to cancel it? Like we can do it on our end. And I was like, nah, I guess not. Like, just go with it. So I guess that was a good thing. But yeah, no, thank you for your response. It was awesome. And a few other people definitely like responded
And keep
positively, which
reading.
is really nice. But hopefully in the next few months we'll have some more good news. Yeah. What other questions did you have for us?
Well, that was really it. I mean, I feel like I follow you pretty closely. So, um, have you got anything in the works coming up that you're super excited about? Any conferences or tech things or
We don't have any conferences. No, we have an event that we're doing. We're hosting an event on the 21st.
nice?
With the British consulate and Brits in
Wow,
Tech. So really excited about that actually.
that's awesome. Tell my people I said hello because I'm a dual citizen.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, my mom's English.
We'll drop your name.
That's really exciting. I find like this whole founder thing, when I started stuff up, it was supposed to be like a side thing, and then life happens and now it is not a side thing. And I feel very much like I'm doing stuff constantly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I'm constantly doing things, but I don't feel like I'm doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like
Yeah.
the normal feeling?
It is normal.
Yeah.
I am so busy every day and I feel like nothing is happening. But
Yeah.
here's the advice that I've been given, or just keep your head down and keep grinding.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing because it is going to pay off. And when you do like finally lift your head, you're just going to be like surrounded by like the fruit of everything you've been doing.
I do love a fruit. Get it.
Haha, I got it. And I will say that it's already starting to happen to me, like with all of like the um accelerator programs and landing pads and like trade agencies that we're talking to. Like it just all of a sudden I looked up and I started doing like the math and I was like, oh, okay, this is working, right?
I'm so glad. That's
Yeah,
great.
it is really cool. It is really cool. So, but yeah, most of the time you're gonna feel like you're just running in place.
Yeah.
And Josh runs in physical places.
I just don't run anymore. I retired from running. The legs can't take it anymore. So yeah. Eh. I had a good childhood. What can I say? Like that is the fruit of my labor, right? Like all the pain.
Yeah.
Pain.
All the pain and arthritis is what I have
I
to show
can't-
for it at this point.
Arthritis at such a young age, so terrible. Like my whole body hurts when just thinking about running, even if it's metaphorical.
I just always say that if you ever see me running, you should also start running because something is coming to get you.
I hear that.
Like I hate running. I hate it.
Hey, maybe it's my time to go because I can't run anymore. I was
Yeah,
like,
I won't run.
I guess today's the day. Paige, where can all social media, whatever?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Paige Tremblay, or the company is LinkedIn In-House Core. You can also now find me on Instagram at In-House Core. There are 2 posts.
There you go.
Get it.
And then inhousecore.com.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks for sharing that. You can find me, Rachel Fiegler, on LinkedIn. You can find Pinpointe at our website, pinpoint.nyc. We are also on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Pinpoint Group. Check us out. You can find our podcast, Pinpointe Unfiltered, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. And also we have a cool newsletter you can sign up on our website.
It's a really good newsletter.
Ooh,
I can
yeah,
vouch
that's
for
a
that.
different newsletter. But yeah,
Oh.
there are different
Oh.
newsletters.
I'm just vouching for all of it.
If you're so that newsletter that you got, that's the special one. So if you are special, then you get on that newsletter. If you want to
Well,
know
that was
more
a good
about
one.
it, hit me up.
For
All
the
right.
exclusive newsletter. Yep.
Yeah, it's an exclusive. Paige, thank you so much for coming and for teaching us all about immigration. And
Take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah. No, I mean it was a very like good conversation. I think like there's a lot of things I learned, right? I'm sure Josh also learned a lot, and hopefully people listening also got to learn some stuff. So thank you.
So thank you so much. Always good to see your face and nice to meet you, Josh.
Nice meeting you, Paige. Thank you again.
All right, peace
Be
out,
in touch.
guys.
Bye, guys.